So I had lots of requests for some additional Heikinashi 1 base trade setup, additional ways you can use the tools. So I decided I'll shoot a quick video today and cover that. Some people said that, wow, they really did good working with that approach and showed me some of the ideas they had for taking what they did with the Heikinashi 1 only and doing something automated. I'm like, yeah, that can be done. Because remember, our tools have outputs. So our indicators have outputs. You can use like Bloodhound, Blackbird, Markers Plus. What's the new thing? ASP from Trade Devils, Algo Studio Pro, something like that. So all of our tools, our indicators have outputs to tie into those types of third-party tools to do whatever sort of custom in trade, bracket out of the launch of your trade and then in trade management customization. So let's take a quick look. This is one way you can do it. If you still want to see the price candlesticks, you can make them somewhat subdued. In this case, I've made my price candlesticks gray for down bars and Gainsborough for up bars. So there's a bit of differentiation between up and down. I'm on a grid Renko 55. This is from the other day, and I picked this by design when the market's kind of choppy. And it's really about then coloring up the Heikinashi 1 so you can see it and focus on it a bit more than, let's say, the actual price. And look for the patterns that I talk about and that I teach in our training. So I like to find areas where I see the market hold support and then start stair-stepping higher. I talked about in the videos the other day. So I get lift and I get stair-stepping higher, price action. But I'm looking at the pattern on the Heikinashi. So I want green Heikinashi or whatever color you like, and I want the candles above the Heikinashi on a long trade. At any point I'm in the trade, obviously with that kind of movement, no need to have any risk on. You can move break even stop. And if I got blipped out of the trade or I only made a few ticks, then soon thereafter, I get another higher pivot low and lift setup. Now that one actually ran a bit. So it's like, it's a visualization approach to trading. Like, you're focusing on the reds and greens if you're into those colors. Or in my case, I might be using cyan for uptrends and Dodger blue for downtrends. In the end, you can use whatever colors you want. And let's go take a look at that. I'm running the Evo. I've got the T3 setting, 14, lime red. The rest of it really doesn't make any difference. I have it all set to transparent, just so I can see the Heikinashi. And I'm looking for the patterns. I'm looking for support retest and lift, resistance retest and rollover. I'm looking for M's and W's. Beautiful one right there. So, and I'm not really actually watching the price pattern as much as I'm watching the actual pattern in the Heikinashi. Lift, we came up, we missed an area of known resistance. We have some red. We lift again and we get some red. So the indicator of the Heikinashi gives me an M pattern with red. Now I can get into the trade. I don't see any reason to just step in and suddenly be a buyer here. Market comes up. Here's my current edges of the range on the day. So this is in the middle of the road. I don't like to play in the middle of the road where you get left, can get run over. I tend to like the edges. So not quite to resistance there. If this was right up at resistance and gave me an M, I would have really loved it. Market comes up, doesn't even test this recent high, rotates lower, nothing I want to touch. But I do like this higher pivot low. I like that a lot. There's a W pattern, a higher pivot low. You can see the W pattern in the indicator. And if I get long, when would I get out? Obviously, if you bracket trade, some piece of the trade you can grab with a portion of your position. And then at any point I see the Heikin-Ashi go red, I'm out of here. I'm done. So I grab what I can and then I'm out. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish. And there is some merit here. I mean, heck, the market's been in an uptrend. We had the hook. So I'm getting stair-stepping higher pivot lows. We get the hook, price runs, pulls back. So we've obviously had some buying earlier. We got a deep pullback. It got held, pushed back up. But you can see in the indicator, there is the pattern of the W. I like that. So price staying above the green Heikin-Ashi until red. At red, I get out. These are just like you get in, take some shots, get a piece out of, some of these trades here and there, and you get used to it real fast when you use this approach. Then, then on occasion you get in some of the trades and they run. Now here's another one. Market stair-stepped higher. We are holding this area of support. The fact that this pivot was a little bit lower than this one could be typically I would be dissuaded from getting long if I saw an equal bottom or a bit of a higher pivot low and lift, thinking, hey, this baby's trying to run, to go break out, to at least test overhead resistance and break out. Let's see, where was that overhead resistance from? A couple days back. Now this is a really nice setup here, in my opinion. In general, this area held. The market lifted, then you get a pullback, then you get lift. So that is a higher pivot low and a W pattern. And it ended up giving a nice little, decent little run. And it pulls back again, lifts again, gives another. So now the market is holding, stair-stepping higher, holding, stair-stepping higher. And finally, we get a test up to the resistance area. Now I'm ready to maybe work the short side. So I get lift. I'll call that a levels test, not a level sweep. And at that level sweep, I get a rotation and I can take a shot at that. Stop. I'm in the trade and there's my, 1 unit of risk, 1 unit of reward, stop to break even plus, and I get a little piece. Now, if somebody just loves to be a buyer in the market, they want to keep buying, there's those nice little W patterns in the indicator. You take a shot, rotate it up, turn back over, it goes red, bail, nothing there. Then let's go right here. I want to grab a box. I want to draw a box. You can see this has been the support all afternoon. It's continued to hold. Then in the overnight session in the evening, we do a level sweep and lift. So not really a time when I'm going to be actively like, oh, I want to buy the market. But that was a nice little level sweep and then lift. Now the market trades higher in the overnight session. So the market trades higher, blows through that prior level, and now we run pretty hard. We do get some red, but the candles are at or above the Heikin-Ashi, so nothing that I'm going to take a shot at. When I get red, if I want to take a shot at a trade, I want the candles, I want the price action below the red Heikin-Ashi on shorts and above a green Heikin-Ashi on longs. So this is like brain dead simple scalping. And then the market ran and ran and ran and ran, ran and ran. No setups at all to work to the short side. So, I mean, we really swept out any prior resistance. Like there's none left. It got cleaned out. Now I finally get some red Heikin-Ashi. I have candle below red Heikin-Ashi, a little bit of a move. But again, lower pivot high. We have an M pattern now in the indicator. Get some red, and there we go. There's another place you could take a shot at the market. So let me just play with the Heikin-Ashi a bit just to show you different ways that you can adjust it, utilize it. You can like really dial it in to see those patterns. I'm on a 14. You could go down to like a 9. I don't like that. That's a little bit too dialed in for me, but it's up to you. You know, if you see a running trend, you're getting pull back and lift, jump in, pull back, lift, jump in, pull back, lift, jump in. You can still see the patterns, but that's a little bit sensitive for me on this particular grid Renko. And the nice thing, you can use this on tick chart, range bar, time-based, on and on. You don't have to do this on a grid Renko. Now, if you want to back it up a bit, I was on a 14, I could go to like a 19. So I just want you to see what happens when I change the responsiveness of the indicator. So now I'm just kind of going for the more structural moves. Now I'm not going to get as much. So when the market's more range bound, I'm not going to get as much per trade, but that's okay. It's about taking shots. So you see a higher pivot low, you take a shot, market runs a bit, at least you can get your stop to break even plus, and then it stops you out. Well, see the market come back into this area, maybe you want to get long again, you get long, you got stop, works a little bit, comes down, you get out. You know, it's all up to you, like how responsive do you want the indicator to be to price or not. That's up to you. Okay, let's look at one other day from the past. Here's the type of stuff I just love to see, where I'm focusing on the Heikin-Ashi more so than price. I see the Heikin-Ashi holding. So what do you think I want to do right here when the Heikin-Ashi goes green? Here, let me draw this a bit. I basically have a W pattern, in a sense, in play. Get long, catch a little piece. Comes back down, I get green. When I get green, the candles are going down and are buried in the indicator. So I don't have the candles lifting and above price. There's nothing there. But we retest again. Now, from a Heikin-Ashi standpoint, not price. I don't care where the pivots are price. Higher pivot low and lift again, I can take a shot. Heikin-Ashi green, building off the support, and the candles are ascending, and at least they're above and lifting above the green Heikin-Ashi, and then, there's a move. Okay, market comes up, makes a move, pulls back, lift. Not really too excited about taking a shot to the short side there on a lower pivot high. I like my secondary pivot to be a little bit closer to price. And to me, I'm getting in the middle of the recent range. So it's kind of like I'm playing in the middle of the road where you can get run over. I do like this though, right here. We lift. Heikin-Ashi comes back up to this area, which comes just a little bit higher, rotates lower. I think that's worth taking a shot at to the short side. I like that. And I actually, I would be willing to hit it again if this was earlier in the day. But this is getting to like 1 in the afternoon Central Time. I'm not really ever paying attention to the market then. So now if this would have held, came down lower, transitioned from red to green, and I had a double bottom looking W pattern, or this leg of the W is higher than this one to the long side, I would have jumped on that as a long trade. So I'm looking for these little patterns all the time in the look of the Heikin-Ashi. And just to wrap up, I like these little compact little M's, or whether it's a W. I like those. Taking a shot to the short side, comes back up, tests that area, rotates again. I take a shot at that. And I like big structural W to the long side. So there you have it. Pattern-based trading, just using visually efficient setups, in this case using the Heikin-Ashi iGRID Evo tools. If you have any questions, just let me know at info@gridalgo.com.